Hi and welcome back to another video. My name is Tali. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my December wrap up, and I did a pretty... Whoops. Happy 2020, Happy New Year. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my December wrap up. For the month of December, I think it was a very good reading month, and I was able to finish all the books for my TBR, which makes me super happy since I did have 2 weeks of vacation and I was able to read a little bit more. Rated all my books 5 out of 5. First book that I read for the month of December, it is actually a book that I've been wanting to read for the longest time, and I'm so happy that I finally read it for the month of December and before the year ended. It is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Just a little background information about this book. It is introduced with Eleanor, who is the main character in the story. She is almost 30 years old. She has been working in the same office for about 10 years already, and she also struggles with appropriate social skills. As the title reads, Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. She's definitely not, but she assures herself that she is, and that she's not missing out on anything. On the weekends when she gets off work, she orders pizza and she buys 2 bottles of vodka. Same girl. And she drinks them all through her weekend. We see these characteristics that are not good in a person. Oh my... Eleanor states in the first chapter that she is a sole survivor, that there's no big hole in her life, there's no missing part of her own puzzle. Then 2 events begin to coax her out of her shell. First of all, she develops an unexpected crush on a singer that she sees at a small concert. She becomes obsessed with him. She begins thinking that he is the love of her life, and she's convinced that they have a future together. This honestly was annoying at first because in my head I was like, why don't you just go up to the guy and ask him for his number? But also my shy self would have been Eleanor, being obsessed with the guy and stalking him on social media. So I pretty much relate with her on that one. Throughout the book, she becomes such a lovable fiction character who has gone through so much, and she also receives abusive phone calls from her absent mother, who I hate throughout the book, and you guys will hate and probably hate if you have read the book already. Then she meets Raymond, another lovely character who I enjoyed reading from, and he is the IT guy who helps Eleanor fix her computer at her office. Then they rescue an elderly man named Sammy, and Sammy appreciates them so much for helping him after the heart attack that he has. And then they build a relationship with him and his family, and then because of this reason, Raymond and Eleanor, they also build a friendship. Knowing all of Eleanor's characteristics, we know that she had a rough childhood because of the mother and the way that she struggles. There are many emotions that I went through when I was reading this book because of all the events that occurred, and I truly enjoyed reading. There were a lot of funny moments with this book, and there were a lot of sad moments as well because of like this depression that Eleanor falls in. But to conclude this review of this book, I really love the quote that Eleanor says in the book, and it is, if someone asks you how you are meant to say fine. You are not meant to say that you cried yourself to sleep last night. So this was definitely a rating of 5 out of 5. Honeyman, you are an amazing writer, and I am looking forward to reading more of your books. So the second book that I read for the month of December, it was Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste and G. A little bit of a summary of this book. I don't want to like spoil it so much for you guys. It takes place in Shaker Heights. It is a very wealthy and regulated city, as stated by the author in the back. It is about 2 troubled families, the Richardsons' family dynamics, and Mia and her daughter Pearl both carry very deep secrets. This novel is set in 1997 and 1998. There are topics like race, abortion, sex, art, photography, and especially motherhood throughout the book, and it played a huge role in the characters. The Richardsons are Eleanor, her husband, and their kids Lexi, Moody, Tripp, and Izzy. So they're all in high school. They're a wealthy family who also have a rental house on Winslow Road, and they rent it out to people who most need it. Story is introduced with Izzy, one of the Richardsons' daughter, who is in high school as well, and she seems to be the most problematic, and she has burnt down their house. She's nowhere to be found. Her siblings believe that she has lost her mind this time, meaning that she has done other things that make her siblings say this. The novel is then rewinded to the previous June when Mia and her daughter Pearl move into the rental house. In the novel, they see a photograph at a museum. Thoughts on this book? I really enjoyed reading this book, but it wasn't a wow for me. The author just didn't give us the plot right away. She does gives us part of the story until everything comes together at the end. It includes a lot of small stories in the book from different characters, which sometimes bored me and frustrated me. I just wanted to stick to the most important plot. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 because the ending. So many questions I asked myself. I just feel like there wasn't an ending to it. But at the same time, I was glad it was over. It wasn't a book that I wanted to like keep on reading and know more about it. However, I did enjoy the important topics that the author included in histories to each character. I do recommend this book. And the third book that I read, this one was my favorite out of the 5 of them. This one is How to Walk Away by Katherine. I absolutely love this story. I loved all the characters. So basically, Margaret has always been scared of flying ever since she was a little girl. On the day that should have been the happiest day of her life, everything she has worked for is taken away and changes her life completely. At the beginning of the story, her boyfriend takes her to a private airfield in the middle of nowhere. He tells her that they're going for a ride. He knows that she's scared of flying, but he assures her that everything will be fine. Was everything okay? Nope. The airplane crashes and she ends up in the hospital for several months. She has to face the possibility that nothing will be the same because she is paralyzed. She then meets her physical therapist. Ian is a beautiful character who I just loved. To finalize the summary, I think that this book summarizes that love can find us in the least likely place would ever expect. So my thoughts on this book, I loved this book. It was very sad and frustrated in the beginning because Margaret didn't want to be in that situation that changed her life completely. It's also frustrating because the man who was supposed to be her fiance, the one who put her in that situation, never goes to see her in the hospital, and this is another stressing thing for her, and which makes her very sad and depressed. She's a very strong person. There are times when she just wants to give up because she realizes that she'll never be the person that she used to be. But then she grows strong with the help of her family, Kitty, her mom and her dad, and of course the physical therapist, Ian. She then realizes that she needs to walk away from her past. The author takes us her road in the hospital, her sister Kitty coming after 3 years of not seeing them because of a situation that happened with their mom, and her falling in love. So this is a romance book. It's very inspirational, and it also includes a lot of inspirational quotes. You guys have to absolutely read. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 rating. Story developed to a very beautiful and unforgettable ending. The next book, I'm actually very sad that I'm almost done with the series. I have became so attached to them and so excited to finally read the last book of the series. I read the 6th book of the Harry Potter series. This book is just a war against Voldemort and Dumbledore, who goes away for long periods of time, and Harry finds a mysterious book of potions which helps him in class, has all the answers. It also belongs to the Half-Blood Prince. I just have to say that the series just keeps getting better. This book has a lot more romance than the other ones because they're a little bit older. It has more action with Voldemort. It definitely crushed my heart in the end. Literally cried myself to sleep. Not literally, but it was just very sad. A lot more background information about Voldemort's childhood and his memories that Dumbledore shares with Harry. The book ended very sad. I'm scared of how the last book is going to end. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 star from me, and I absolutely love it. So last but not least, I also read another romance, and I saw this book a lot on my Bookstagram. It's definitely a very cute romance book, and it is One Day in December by Josie Silver. This is a beautiful romance about Lori, the main character in the story. She doesn't believe in love at first sight, but then when she sees a man through the mist of the bus window, she changes her mind completely. Guys meet, they smile at each other, then the bus drives away. Bam, she'll never see him again. Then she spends years looking for him with the help of her best friend slash roommate. She never finds him. A year passes and then Sarah, her best friend, wants Lori to meet her boyfriend, Jack, who is the guy from the bus stop. This book is told from Jack, the man that she saw at the bus stop, and her point of view. She made the story even better because I wanted to know more about these characters and I wanted to know more about what they were thinking all the time. The story is developed when Lori finds out that her best friend is dating Jack, the guy that she saw at the bus stop and thought that it was love at first sight, the guy she has been looking for years and she never found. The book is very heartwarming. It is absolutely lovely. I started reading thinking it was going to be like any other romance books, but it turned out to be such a perfect story of fate between two people. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 for me as well. It was very fast paced. Loved how it was written, both of the characters' point of view. The friendship and the heartbreak between all the characters was amazing. I truly highly recommend it if you haven't read it. I'm very happy with all the books that I read for December. If you guys are interested in any of them, I will link them down in my description box. But other than that, thank you for joining me today for my December wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have read any of the books that I read for my December TBR, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know if you guys liked them. What were your thoughts and what were your ratings? So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time and have a good weekend. Bye!